In case you missed it, news and notes, we're filling you in on everything that's happened around the world of women's football that, frankly, we haven't talked about yet. Darian, I know you've been listening to these while you've been out, so you've been staying up to date on everything. Well, today, guys, we've got big news in terms of the Women's World Cup. It's set for Brazil in 2027, and yesterday, FIFA confirmed the dates. It'll take place from June 24th to July 25th of 2027. It's 3 years away, which is not far at all. We're just getting some of these tiny details. Meanwhile, the men's side, they're like planning for 30, 34. It's incredibly insane how this is unfolding. But hey, we've got dates for the tournaments. Mark your calendars, June 24th to July 25th in Brazil in 2027. Collegiately, UNC has returned to the top of the women's soccer pyramid. I'm rolling my eyes as well. Darian, national champions, UNC for the 23rd time in program history. The Tar Heels defeated Wake Forest. It happened Monday in Cary, North Carolina, a score of 1-0, a second half set piece banger from Olivia Thomas. She scored the game winner on a free kick. And this UNC side, I mean, they had been through a lot this year. So the fact that they were able to come out on top is pretty impressive. At the start of the year, their legendary head coach, Anson Dorn, stepped away. It was Damon Nahas, brother of North Carolina Courage head coach Sean Nahas, who stepped up. They had about a dozen players leave, whether it was transferring out or going pro, and they had to call up a lot of players. Freshmen had to step up to big roles, and they did it. I mean, 23 times, Darian, that's a lot of times to be national champion.
It's a sick amount of times. That's somebody that's graduated college. Like, let somebody else win.
That's a
no, I'm just saying. I love Damon. Damon coached me when I was younger with U15 U to U17, and he's an amazing coach. Lisa, you did a great interview with him. I loved listening to it, and he's just a great guy that can turn a program around even when there's a mass exodus of players, and they really deserve this. So shout out to UNC. You won again. You ever get tired of winning this freaking tournament? My God.
Got to give them
UNC, they called it a drought because they hadn't won in 12 years. That's so crazy. Meanwhile, Wake Forest, this was just their second ever tournament.
Mental. That's the drought. The drought is that we haven't won in 12 years and that you've already had like over 20 national titles.
Brutal.
It's impressive, though.
I'm also bitter because UNC did not want me when I went to college. That was a school that was like, no.
Tell them how you really feel. Years
They're
later.
in Arizona State, randomly.
Very random. Well, UCLA was happy to have you. And look at you now, a flourishing Bruin. Fabulous. In Italy, guys, the women's Milan derby was played at San Siro for the first time ever. AC Milan against Inter Milan. It ended 1-1, but there was a lot of action right around the halfway point. Inter scored in the 45th plus 1 minute. It was Elisa Baroni at the end of the first half. And then in the opening 6 minutes of the second 45, Milan equalized in the 51st minute. Nadia Nadim getting the equalizer. It ends 1-1, but at San Siro. Pretty cool. In NWSL front office news, North Carolina Courage's chief soccer officer, Kurt Johnson, is leaving to pursue other opportunities. The club announced that they will begin an international search to fill the role and build on their storied success. Elsewhere in head coaching news, Aston Villa women can confirm that manager Robert DePaul has left the club with immediate effect. This was big news earlier this week. Sean Gautier is in charge now until a new manager is appointed. A little bit of up and down there for Aston Villa. In NWSL free agency news, there's a lot to update you all on here, so take a listen. The Houston Dash have hired Angela Hucles-Mangiano as the president of women's soccer. She was formerly at Angel City as the GM, and now Hucles is at the Houston Dash. Houston Dash have also re-signed defender Jalissa Harris, as well as signing Alicia Chapman, another defender, to a contract that will re-begin. It's a new contract for Chapman, and it's a mutual option all the way through 2027 season. San Diego Wave, they have traded defender Kristen Westphal to the Houston Dash in exchange for a 2025 international slot, $14,000 in allocation money, and an additional performance-based allocation money. Allocation money is set to be leaving the NWSL, so it's kind of like monopoly money at this point. But either way, Houston Dash, they're signing defenders, right? In Jalissa Harris, Alicia Chapman, and now Kristen Westphal. Bay FC, meanwhile, they have re-signed a lot of key players, a trio including goalkeeper Emmy Allen, midfielder Caroline Conti, and midfielder Jamie Shepard. They all have new contracts for 2025 with an option for 2026. Orlando Pride signed goalkeeper Kat Assman. The Chicago Red Stars also signed a goalkeeper in Hallie Makowitz to a one-year contract for 2025. Makowitz was part of the draft class last year. She got drafted to Kansas City. She was dealing with a bit of a shoulder injury, and they put her on loan. She was sent to Sweden to play. She's back in the NWSL with the Red Stars. They've also signed Cameron Bigalski, a defender, to a one-year extension for 2025. Utah Royals, they're making moves, signing young player, 15-year-old KK Ream, a forward. So she's a professional now. Congratulations, KK. And other news, including signings and things, Brooklyn FC, they tap Kevin Tanejo as sporting director in the USL Super League. But all these trades and NWSL free agency signings, Darian, what stands out to you in this list of free agents that have signed?
Oh, Houston. Oh, Houston. So much to say. But I do like that they're, sorry guys, I'm trying to like escape the sun, but it's moving too quick for me to keep moving. But I like that Houston is shoring up their defense. They're making moves. I think Kristen Westphal is a great addition, re-signing Chappie. Thinking about that back line with Paige Nielsen, Tarciane, if she stays, I know that that's up in the air. But I like this for Houston, similar to, I think it was you, Lisa, that was saying, or maybe Sandra, that a team needs to either shore up their defense first before building into the attack. And I think Houston's taking that on board and looking at who they're signing with these defenders. A lot of experience in that back line. A lot of consistent players that aren't out a lot. They play a very simple game. You know exactly what you're going to get. I think Houston has been craving that, and they've needed depth in the back. So I like this. This is a good step. And hell, signing a GM. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Professional soccer team, Houston Dash. Let's see it. I'm not fully convinced, but I think it's a good move. Delaney Sheehan also going there. They're obviously have some money. They're picking up players. I hope they're getting the bag, but let's see what else they continue to do, because they need a lot more adjustments still.
That's the name of the game for Houston. Money, money, money. They don't have a head coach. They've struggled, right? I think hiring a GM is a step in the right direction, but to get all these good players, I'm not convinced yet. I'm not. Steps in the right
fair
flash, but hey, it's got to translate on the pitch, because it's been the same old dance for Houston the last several years in the NWSL, just struggling. NWSL, they announced their top 25 best-selling kits of 2024. At the top of the list included San Diego Wave, I think it was called the Sunset kit, Kansas City Current, Washington Spirit, and then a couple more San Diego. But in terms of the actual players, Alex Morgan, Temwa Shawinga, Trinity Rodman, Naomi Girma, and Jaden Shaw. Do you have any of these, Sandra? You rocking any of these kits?
No, somebody give me one of these kits, man. Look, good players in a cool kit. Turns out that's a winning, high-selling combo. So not shocked that one of San Diego's kits, 3 players in the top 5. And look, Temwa Chewinga, very cool. Love to see it. Took her 1 season to get on this list. I love it. And of course, Trinity Rodman, player that we want to have in our ultimate A3 player for the style and the swag. So yeah, no, so not too shocking that she's on this list either.
No, not at all surprised that San Diego has 3. Their kits were cool this year. They were really cool.
So what'd you call them? Sunset Kiss kits?
Yeah, I think that's what they're called. Like
a sunset kit. A sunset kiss also sounds nice. The sunset kit.
Oh,
yeah, maybe that's what Darian was doing in Mexico. Hey. All right, guys, this was fun. Dee, we're so glad to have you back with us.